4 years ago, Kramer and I came up with a scoring system to review bows.
Specs, speed, smoothness, snagability, and sacrifice is the scale we are testing these bows to.
Well, it was mostly Kramer, and yes, specs is spelled with a K. It's crazy that we created a word that didn't exist, snagability. No one said a peep, but then we accidentally misspell a word, and even though our intention is very clear, today we're reviewing the Senlita X8 Hermit. And yes, specs is spelled with a K and snagability is a made-up word. Let's dive into the specs. Why is this box so big? That's more like it. According to the specifications, this is a 60-inch, 45-pound bow with a 17-inch riser. This bow comes with a riser, pair of limbs, bowstring, arrow rest, stringer, a pair of string dampeners, finger glove, arm guard. It appears that everything they said would come with the bow came with the bow, including 4 extra Allen wrenches. In order to get started, you need to hold the handle in your hand so that you can determine which side is the top or bottom. Once you have that situated, you should place the limbs on the bow. Very important, do not over tighten the limb bolts because this may cause limb damage. Distinguish clearly the upper limb and the lower limb before assembling. Top is marked clearly and bottom is marked on the lower. While installing, place the indent button into the adjusting groove on the riser and push the limb to fit the U. Okay, this is the bowstring that came with the bow. It's actually a Flemish twist, which is not super common. Usually it's an endless loop string. Oh, they've tied the loops together, so no twists come out, I guess. There we go. There's our Flemish twist. Not a bad Flemish. They didn't trim tag ends, not a big deal. The irving section is 7 inches. This is an 18-strand string, probably Dacron. All right, got the bow strung up. Let's go ahead and check the brace height. Interesting, 6 and just under 1/2 inches. It's recommended brace height 7 to 8 inches, so I guess I should add some twists to the string. Let's see what we're at. All right, we made it to 7. 7 inches, nice. Let's check the draw weight. 45.6. So it's supposed to be a 45-pound bow? Dead on, 45.6, so within 1/2 pound. Okay, one thing I do notice about this bowstring is that the back twist, they didn't quite nail it. You can kind of see how there's 2 separate bundles going here. And if you nail the back twist on that string, then it's gonna look like 1 string, especially if it's the same color. It's not gonna look like 2 separate bundles. It's not a huge, they're not far off, but just a little bit off on that back twist. This is supposed to be a 17-inch riser. When I measure it, I get 19.25 inches, unless you're not supposed to measure end to end. I guess if you measure, I'm assuming you're supposed to measure the full length, right? Let's look it up. You measure the length of a ILF riser. Measure from tip to tip of the riser. So one of the unique things about this bow is that you can adjust the draw weight. So I'm gonna see if I can change the draw weight on this bow, make it lighter. It doesn't say if I can make it heavier than 45 or lighter than 45 or how much. So let's see what kind of adjustments we can make. So it says to twist this clockwise, T-square clockwise to loosen this. But it seems like that's tight. So I'm gonna go counterclockwise. Yeah, that loosens it up. Mark this, so I know how many twists I'm doing. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now I'll tighten this back down. There we go. So maybe 3.5, maybe don't go 4. Let's do the same on this side. So it says clockwise, but I think you have to go counterclockwise to loosen it. 43.1, 43 about. So it would appear that we can adjust draw weight by about 2.5 pounds from the top to the bottom. So it's supposed to be 45, is just above 45, 45 and a half. Is able to bring it down to 43, 43.1 pounds. So a little bit of adjustment, and that's from changing the angle of the limb. So when this bolt is loosened, then the limb angle is changed, and that changes the draw weight of the bow. One of my least favorite things about this bow is this glove. I actually I don't mind it. Like it works fairly well. I don't know how long it'll last. It's kind of that same fake leather, but this thing stinks. Like it smells really bad, but I actually don't mind how it works. It works pretty good. Yeah, I didn't mind it. Definitely feel the string a little bit, and I don't mind feeling the string. The weight of the bow is supposed to be 115 grams, and it came out to 440 grams off. That's about 0.97 pounds. So it's almost a pound off. I did weigh it like this. So it's got the limbs, limb bolts, bowstring, silencers. Maybe they were counting all of that off, but even if that is the case, it's still, there's no way that would be the weight difference. So it's about a pound heavier than it said it was gonna be. That's kind of surprising. I was gonna give it like a 8 or a 9 out of 10, but with the bow weight being like a pound heavier than it said it was gonna be, then I think I gotta give it a 7. So a couple of things before we go on to the snagability test. This is an ILF bow. It's honestly my first ILF bow I've ever had, so I'm excited to shoot this and test it out. ILF stands for International Limb Fitting, which means you can trade out any ILF riser with any set of ILF limbs, which is really cool if you want to mix and match. With this ILF bow, you can adjust the draw weight here, and then you can also adjust the alignment. There's a little tiny Allen key, and you can adjust the alignment. It said if the string's not lining up in the middle of the riser, then to adjust the alignment. It looks aligned to me, so I'm not gonna adjust that. I'm not sure if it was intended for this, but this string that came that tied the loops together on the Flemish twist, I'm gonna go ahead and use this to tie my knocking point. See if that's a good spot for the knocking point. Smells funny. Smells a little bit funny. Okay. Now for the snagability test. The snagability test, how easy is it just to pick up the bow and shoot it? So what I'm gonna be comparing this bow to is the bows I'm familiar with. So that's the Black Hunter recurve and longbow, and then our Bones bow, and the mountain bow style that we've built as well. So those are kind of what I'm gonna be comparing it to. I'm gonna take 50 shots and see how it feels. Oh yeah, good first shot. Okay, I'm about 20, 25 shots in, and the thing that's striking me the most is this glove stinks. And I don't mean that it's like a necessarily a bad glove, like it just smells really, I really don't like the smell. It's like a chemically animal smell kind of. 20, 30 shots in, and it seemed like the brace height was getting lower, so I checked it, and we are now at 6 and less than a half on our brace height. So that's gone down over half an inch, almost 3/4 of an inch since I strung it up, which could mean the string wasn't pre-stretched, which just can be a little annoying because I've already set my knocking point. And so now that could kind of move a little bit. It hasn't really affected arrow flight, and I don't mind a lower brace height. It's just something to keep in mind is that the string may not be pre-stretched, or it may just be settling in. If it's like a Dacron, they got quite a bit of stretch in them. So for the snagability of this bow, I really did enjoy shooting it. I'm gonna give it a 8 out of 10 on the snagability. And the two things that could bring this bow up a little bit, I think for me, would be if it was a pound lighter, like I said it was supposed to be, And then if the draw weight was a little bit more adjustable, 3 pounds, I guess that is adjustable, but it's not a whole lot of adjustment. And so if you're able to adjust that more, you could kind of fit it to your what you're looking for, if it's too heavy or too light for you. But overall, really easy to pick up and shoot. Now for the smoothness, go ahead and give this a listen. For smoothness, this bow is actually really good. It's probably a Dacron string, so that helps with being more stretchy, absorbing more vibration. Got really big silencers on here, that helps a lot. We could even add limb silencers. That brings it down a couple decibels and makes it smoother. As far with it being an ILF bow, I've seen some ILF bows that are kind of rattly, feels like it might fall apart. This feels solid, isn't loud, is quite smooth. Another thing that helps with that is this really heavy, long riser. That helps absorb more vibration, helps it be a smoother shooting bow. As far as smoothness, I'm gonna give it, an 8 out of 10. All right, got the chronograph set up. These arrows are 430 grain arrows, so 43 pound bow, 10 grains per pound. Let's see what kind of speed we're getting out of this thing. 167. 170. All right, the speed on this guy came out to right around 170 feet per second with 10 grains per pound on the arrow. That's not bad. It's not incredible. I'm gonna give it a 7 on the speed test. Now for sacrifice, what does it cost to get this bow? Currently, this bow is $150 on Amazon. And when I'm researching other similar bows to this, an ILF bow that's similar quality, it's around $180. There are some cheaper ILF bows that are about $80, $90, but I do not think that they would be as good a quality as this bow. I could be wrong, I haven't tested them. That's just my opinion. And there are many, many risers that are more expensive than this bow. If you're getting a standard riser from Three Rivers or Bear, they're anywhere from like $190 to upwards of like $500 for just the riser itself or just the limb. So if you're buying an ILF Recurve, there's kind of that 150 mark, or you bump up to $500 minimum. A lot of them are 800, 1,000 plus. So this is kind of the sweet spot, I think, for an ILF bow. If you're just wanting to try it out, getting into it, I think this would be a riser that I would be willing to shoot other limbs on. That, yeah, I would enjoy shooting other limbs on this riser. It's a touch heavy as far as the weight of it, but that's just preference. It's not really a huge deal. As far as sacrifice, I gotta give it like a 9 out of 10. Okay, to recap, would I buy this bow again? What are some things I like? What are some things I didn't like? Let's start with some things I didn't like. I did not like the smell of that glove. I'm curious if it's just me or if like this thing actually stinks. Maybe I'll go ask Kramer what he thinks. Do you smell that, or is it just me?
No, I smell it. It smells like it was chemical.
So it's not just me. This thing stinks. But now my hand smells like what Kramer was talking about.
Manure mixed with butthole.
Every time I draw back, it's right next to my nose, and it stinks.
What?
You can see that it comes with the arrow rest and strike plate already installed, and this arrow rest, not bad. It's just peeling up a little bit from 50, 60 shots. I'd probably put a dab of glue, put that back down, but that's one thing that's just started to come up a little bit. All right, the string on this guy, not terrible, but not amazing. The back twists a little bit off. They didn't trim the tag ends. It didn't pre-stretch, didn't pre-wax. Serving's a little short, but it works great for the bow. Like it shoots arrows well, and is honestly nicer than a lot of stock strings that come with bows. Usually they're endless loop, so not bad. Could use an upgrade. Could probably get 5 feet per second faster with the D97, and yeah, but this string would last a while. The serving might wear out. Now, what do I like about this bow? I like how it shoots. It's really fun to shoot, easy to pick up and shoot. I like how you can adjust draw weight a little bit. I feel like it'd be tough to change the design where it could adjust it more, but I kind of expected it to adjust more than just 3 pounds. But this is my first ILF bow. So that's cool that it can adjust draw weight, shoots really smooth, and it's fun to shoot, honestly. I like that it's ILF, so I could switch out limbs if I wanted to. I could get longer limbs, shorter limbs, lighter draw weight, heavier draw weight. That part is super nice. The riser is comfortable in the hand. If you've shot the Black Hunter, SAS Maverick, it's very similar to those bows, how it sits in the hand. Great design. If you'd like to see more details on this bow, there is a link in the description. And if you need any archery accessories, bowstrings, anything like that, we got you here at Shatterproof Archery. We love helping more people enjoy more archery. Have a great rest of your day. Stay Shatterproof.
I'm just filming. Oh my god. Find it? No, it's a bow gun. I made 3 and I threw the defective one away, except I think I kept the defective one and trashed it. Oh no.
It has now been hours since I threw that glove away, and my hand still reeks. I've washed it twice with regular soap, hand soap, and then twice with like Dawn dish soap, and it still smells very unfortunate.